Okay. So, hey everybody, thank you for joining. This is the first TikTok live I've ever done in my whole life. So, thank you for joining and have patience with me, please. My name is Carmen. I'm one of the co founders of Removery. Removery is the world's largest tattoo removal company. Yes, so cool. I got a start in this business. I started my own business 13 years ago. So I've been doing this for a really long time, but got the opportunity to merge with three other companies. And we formed Removery. It's been quite a little journey. But we're, so excited. We have 152 locations. We're in three different countries. Yeah, it's just an incredible story. At the moment, I'm out on the road. Here's the side of the RV. So I'm out on the road. I'll be visiting all kinds of different teams of ours, all different cities. So I'll have the teams try to give you updates on little tips and tricks that you can do with removal to, make your journey more quick. And I'll just try to add some. Hopefully, we'll get some clients in there that want to say hi as well. So hopefully, you guys will all join me on, Toad's Wild Ride with me. I'm here with Matt. Matt is an amazing tattoo artist, and what we're doing is we want to celebrate. Tomorrow is National Tattoo Day, so very exciting. And so, what's going to happen is Matt will be answering all the tattoo questions. I'll be answering all the tattoo removal questions, and hopefully, we'll have some pretty good content for you guys to take away. Matt, thank you for
Yes.
joining because, again, this is my first live adventure and I need a hand to hold.
Well, I got you, Carmen. We're gonna do just fine today. And yeah, we'll try to answer as many questions as we can get to, of course. Can you hear me all right too? Is everything good?
Yeah, I'm
Awesome.
good. I can hear you.
Awesome. Awesome. And I don't know if am I visible? I see a little box on mine. It's like you, and then like I'm in a little box down in the corner, but which is fine. I just don't know what it looks like for everybody else. But yeah, my name's Matt. I've been tattooing for quite a while, say 11 years professionally. But what's up, Dustin? This is all Dustin's fault, by the way, why I'm here. Um, um, Actually, funny story. The reason I was introduced to Removery is because 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, me and Dustin were both working at a convention, and Carmen, you were there too, I think. And Dustin was coming around offering free laser removal for all artists. And I was there with my now fiance, right? And um, I have my ex's name tattooed, and she has her ex's name. So we both got a session done, and as it turned out, me and Dustin both have Jessica tattooed on us. So we kind of bonded over the evil Jessica, and yeah, I mean, I see him at every show I go to. Dustin is there, Removery is there. So it's just been really cool to develop this. He's laughing now to develop this relationship, and honestly, as a tattoo artist, I get lots of requests for cover up tattoos, and if it's really really bad and like they need some sessions done first with laser, I always send them to Removery. So um, when I was asked to do this with you guys, of course I jumped at the chance.
Fantastic.
Oh, and
All
happy
right.
birthday, Dustin.
Yeah, that's right. It's his birthday today.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So what questions do we have out there? I'm going to start with one just because I don't like silent space. So I'm going to start with one that I get a lot of times is just very, very simply, how does tattoo removal work? Oh, these are my tattoos.
Ooh.
Mark Wade Inc. is the producer of my tattoos, and he's also my son-in-law. I told him he couldn't marry my daughter until it was finished. So, yeah. Bribery will get you everywhere. I'm a true mom.
That is really good. That's actually that's great. Now I see you. I see you.
Yeah, exactly. Um, so again, how does tattoo removal work? So by when an artist puts ink into the body, it's a foreign substance, right? So what your body wants to do is fight it and get rid of it as quickly as it can. But the body's stopped because the particles of ink are too big. So very simply, all the laser does is breaks down the particles small enough so your body can absorb and carry them away. So pretty much the only thing that the laser does is break the particles down, and your body does what it's already been trying to do, but now it's successful. So there you go. There's one.
So I would guess that the answer to this question right here, does white ink come out with laser? Is that a yes then?
Let's start with the hard ones. Who the hell gave me that question? Um, it's yes, and yes, it's a long process. Usually, what happens is that white turns to a gray, and then it can be really tough. But at a gray, then the laser sees it, and then we can work on that. But I don't want to kid anybody. The white bit is can be a little lengthy in time.
Interesting. Interesting. I didn't know that either. So that's cool to know.
Yeah, I always know exactly how a tattoo is put on by the process of removing it.
Right.
So the laser hits it. I can tell exactly where you put highlights. I can tell everything. It's really cool. I can tell if you paused in a corner. Everything, all the dirty truths come out
Oh
during the
boy.
laser removal.
Well, okay. Well, it's good to know that I'm messing my clients up and they're going to have a really hard time removing my tattoos because I do like to use white ink.
Not the end of the world. I have tons in mine, as you saw. So, it's again, it's not the end of the world. I am for Removery. I do all of the studies and all of the discoveries. And so that is one of my studies that I'm going to start working with different wavelengths, maybe different ways to address it to make it not take a really long time. So we are working on that. So hopefully I can come back on next tattoo day and tell you, oh yeah, white ink's no problem. I got this. You're good to go.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So just like the tattoo industry, how it like evolves and changes and gets, progresses, like it's the same with laser.
Exactly. Yeah, we're discovering all the time. When I started in this industry, there was no book to follow, no rules to follow. So pretty much early on, I had to like figure it out. And then with Removery, what's really cool is we're lucky enough to have a clinical advisory board. So now I take all my ideas, I take all of my findings, and I get to present them to doctors, and even a doctor who's trained under the man who developed the tattoo removal machine and that whole theory, which blows my mind. But she's on our clinical advisory board, and so we can scientifically vet ideas, processes, how we're going to approach things. So I feel like a very lucky girl starting from, just me taking a weekend course and figuring it out to now I get to do all these studies and really just have so many, like the massive mind power that we have. It's incredible.
That's super cool. And you're on like the forefront of that scientifically, it sounds like.
For sure, for
Yeah.
sure.
That's great.
Somebody on here was just worried because they have a little bit of white mixed in. Not to worry, we got it. Don't like
Yes.
if you want to reduce something to put something new on, or just you want to get rid of something. We got you. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So that would include opaque grays then, I'm guessing.
Right,
Like,
right, exactly,
okay. And then
exactly.
Charlotte asked if you guys have ever gotten tattoos removed. I have not gotten one fully removed, but I can say like after one session with that Pico laser 4 years ago from Dustin, like this tattoo, I don't know if you can see it actually. Maybe I can show you. But like where it says Jessica right here, like it's really faded off of just one session.
Just off one. Yeah, no, that looks really good. What's
Yeah,
really cool about tattoo removal is that it breaks those particles, right? So even if you have one and you wait forever and ever and ever, those particles continue to be absorbed. So,
right.
if somebody goes out because they're having a baby or they just go out because they don't feel like it for a while, it's okay. We never lose ground. Like in hair removal with lasers, you have to stay on track. This is much more loose and fluid, and you can come and go as you please.
Sure, sure. That's super cool. Yeah, and then just a reminder for everybody in the live chat right now, if you guys could just like tap the screen like I'm doing right now and send some likes, that will push this live out for us, and we would greatly appreciate it.
Greatly appreciated. Okay, let's see. Another question. If white ink oxidizes, how long does the process take to complete to be removed? Just like I can't tell you how long it's going to take to remove your tattoo, even in the best conditions. I can't tell you for the white either. It just depends. It depends on,
Yeah,
if you think about it, there's like a million different compositions of white, right? And then you get a white and somebody might mix something else. And so now you have two different manufacturers going on. So where I'd love to be a hero and tell you these things, I got to be honest with you, and I just can't,
yeah. It's case by case,
for
definitely
sure.
case by case. And then, so Nicole said, "How faded does the tattoo need to be to get one over it?" That's also a case by case type of deal. You know, it depends on what it was. If it was like a blackout sleeve, um, then it would have to be pretty faded. But what I like about the lasers is it's not an even removal, right? So like if there's a really solid tattoo and I want to do a cover up, I can have my client do like 2, 3 sessions of laser just so that it gets like broken up and it's not so solid. And then I can use the areas of like skin tone as highlights, and it just gives me a lot more options. But it's definitely like a case by case. It's like, what do you want to put over the tattoo, and what's the old tattoo look like?
For sure. And that's the approach
Great.
we take too. If somebody comes in and says, "How long is it going to take me to get to cover up?" I always tell them, "I have no idea." We partner with the artist. The artist is the one who they tell us, "When are you ready?" And we keep going until you're ready to go.
Right, right. That's a great question from Allison too. And it says, my sister got laser removal 6 years ago and it was super painful. Is it still that bad? And also, I would like to add, my fiance has gotten quite a few tattoos removed, and they did not have the Pico Way laser, and there is some scarring. So, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. So back in the day, I told you I started 13 years ago, right? Where technology wasn't where it is today. So we had only nanosecond technology, and that doesn't mean a whole lot to you other than nanosecond technology is just a little longer pulse duration. And what that means to you, and it's more of a heat, where a pico is more of an acoustic. So it's just not as hot anymore, is the easiest way to say it. So it's clients report that it's way more comfortable now. I'm not going to say it doesn't hurt. It does. It hurts. I never throw out there stuff that's not completely true. It hurts, but to me, it's super fast. So I can take kind of anything for a really short duration, and then after, when it's done, it's done. You might feel an afterburn, like where it feels like a sunburn for 30 minutes, and after that, you're pretty good to go. So, does it hurt? It does,
Right, right.
but not for very long.
To me, it sort of felt like snapping a rubber band, which I'm actually doing right now. To like, I don't know why, but like snapping a rubber band on your skin, it's similar to that. It's not bad at all.
Let's see. I have two tattoos, and the third tattoo is a cover up. I want it gone for good. Cover ups are ugly. Some cover ups are ugly for sure. But yeah,
Yes.
we definitely work on cover ups. So it's two tattoos now that we're working through. The laser has to get through and hit all of the particles. So it does take a little bit longer, but totally doable.
And cover-ups do not have to be ugly. Like
I
there are,
agree.
I am very picky on the cover-ups that I do, and like I said, like some people I will send to laser before we start the cover-up tattoo because I don't want to do a tattoo if it looks like a cover-up tattoo. So finding the right artist is a very, very big point on that.
Is key. Exactly. Finding the right artist for any, whether it's a cover up or a tattoo, is, you know, it's key.
Absolutely.
Um, Audrey asks how many sessions does it take to remove a tattoo? Again, we have done Removery's done, say, over 1 million treatments, right? And so if I look at all of that data and I gave you an average number of treatments for everybody we've treated, it's 10.5. That being said, if you come in and ask me how many, I'm always going to tell you, I have no idea. I have no idea because it takes your body removing the ink. So if you're sick or whatever, could take a little bit longer. Also, we never have any idea what's in the tattoo ink. So you just have to chill and let it happen. With Removery, we set up an everything included price so that you pay once, and no matter how many treatments it takes to get you to very good to excellent results, you're covered. So yes, it's kind of a pain in the ass, and you want to get on with your life and whatever, but at least you're not paying more each and every time. So hopefully, that helps a little bit with
That,
that.
that's actually super cool as a client. I would never do that as a tattoo artist.
I know there are certain things that we can do with volume, right? So,
Right.
with our volume, we can offer things that probably an independent provider couldn't really do. You can't really afford to do that, or it becomes difficult to do that. I know
Right.
when I first started out, it was so scary to come up with pricing. You want to be fair, but you want to make sure everybody's being heard, and you have the best price and the best product. And that's another thing. It's like, if you are out there shopping for removal, you really have to shop for quality and experience. And that's really where we always win, is because we have so much experience. We have so much behind us. We have clinical advisory behind us. So, hopefully that
Yeah.
helps you.
Yeah. You guys have really exploded in the last couple of years. I feel like how many shops do you guys have now?
There's 152.
That's crazy. That's super good. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the quality speaks for itself though, right?
Well, exactly. When you have quality there and you really care, that's what's really cool about our company too. Is your laser specialist, your everybody in the studio, they're so invested in all of our clients. Like we always get to know our clients so well, and that's another reason why I'm on the road, is because I want to be out there. I want to be meeting all of our clients. I want to be in involved in everything.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
Volvic, thank you so much. She's very sweet. She's had 4 treatments. She says her tattoo is almost gone. Yes, that's so cool. So you're going to beat the odds. You're not going to be 10.5. That's awesome. I love to hear that.
That is super awesome. Well, I saw a question earlier. Dustin said, "Where's your shop?" I guess he's asking about my shop.
Your shop, yeah.
Yeah. So right now I am at a shop in Anaheim, but this is our last week in Anaheim. We are moving the whole entire shop to Los Alamitos, to a bigger location. Um, so we're going to be closer to the beach, which is cool. I enjoy that. Um, Bigger location. I'll have my own room. So it's a cool move.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations. I'm
Thank
excited
you.
for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I wish you weren't going to be gone. Matt's going to be traveling at the same time I'm traveling. So by the time I get to your area, you'll be hi-hoed out of there.
Oh man, yeah. It would be good to link up in person. We will one day.
We will. We will
Yeah.
for sure. I'm not sure. Again, can I scroll back in some of these questions? Oh, yeah,
You
I
can.
can. So there was one in here I saw go through that says, what hurts more, tattoos or removal? I guess on both ends, it depends on what you're getting or what you're removing. Depends
Most
on location
definitely.
of the body, right?
Yeah. I always say the tattoo that hurts the most is a messed up tattoo or an unfinished one. So I guess, it kind of depends on what kind of pain we're talking about. We're talking about physical pain or emotional pain.
Yeah. I'll take the physical over the emotional. Thank you very much.
Totally, totally.
I agree. I have a hard time having things half done. We go back to bribery with my son-in-law. Um, make the time to finish it, and then
Right,
you can marry my daughter, right?
right. I love that story. That's such a great story.
But I would say, tattoo removal, yeah, to me, it's tattoo removal is a more immediate pain. It hurts more in the moment to me, other than when you're in the ditch of the arm. That was not fun. But it's more immediate, but it's done really quickly. Whereas to me, sorry, Matt, but tattooing is sort of nagging at me. Constant little nag, 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 where I'm
That's
just
fair.
like, boom, here you go.
Yeah, yeah. That's definitely fair. Rilo B. Poi says removal. Yep. So he agrees with you.
Yep, yep.
Do you recommend flash tattoos or bad decision? That's that's more of like a personal preference. Like if you're getting a bunch of random stuff and you're cool with getting, walking in and getting something off the wall that maybe somebody else already has, then like, yeah, flash tattoos are cool. I'm in the custom realm of tattooing. So even like today was a last minute tattoo that I was able to book last night at like 9 p.m. And I still drew something up custom for today, just because that's the, the kind of art that I want to put out is custom art. But like I've seen some really awesome flash pieces, and some flash that artists will only tattoo one time and they won't tattoo it on 20 different people. You know what I mean? So it's really personal preference.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make your picture bigger, Matt.
Am I still little? Oh,
You're still little. Let's see
oh
if
man.
we see.
Oh, hey. There we
Yeah.
go. Oh, now we can see the questions so much better too.
Oh my God.
Oh, it was the first time I've ever been little in my life.
Oh man. Again, this is my virgin experience with TikTok Live. So you all got to just like deal with me and my ineptitude with getting people the correct size, but hopefully you'll get some information out of it.
Yeah, you're totally good. And honestly, like I've had 1 million plus followers for uh, 3 years now, and I couldn't walk you through figuring out the live. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm an accidental influencer.
Well, thank you for being here for me because yeah, I would not get this at all.
I got
Um,
I got you on emotional support at least.
exactly. There you go. I'll take it. And then Casey has a question. How do you know how to find the right artist? What
Mm.
should you ask or look for?
So finding the right artist starts with you, right? Like you have to know what you like. And it takes a lot of research to do that, but thank God there's this awesome thing called the internet. And you can look up pretty much every style of tattoos and see like what you like. Or if you see something in person, and like somebody has a really awesome tattoo and you're like, dude, that's super cool. What style is that? Like you can ask people and like get the conversation started. That's been the one thing that my tattoos have done for me the most is like open up conversation with strangers, right? So ask around, ask Google. Google does exist, and that's super cool. And figure out like the style that you want. And then when you figure out that style, then you can start narrowing down artists that like do that style. Um, And then from there, you can take the artists that do that style and you can figure out like who's accessible, who can I afford, you know, basically who can I book with. Um, and you know, it's hard. There's not one easy way to find the right artist. And I've talked a lot with my clients about this. A lot of them find me on TikTok or Instagram, and they're like, I've been searching for an artist forever. I don't know how to look for an artist. And like, there's not one easy way, you know, to really find the right artist. Like there should be a catalog, but there just isn't. So um, it's hard.
right?
It's hard. Yeah.
Or reviews, right? Like we're so used to looking at reviews, and really, that's not available.
Right. And I mean generally everybody's portfolio is on Instagram. So once you kind of like you can also look in your area if you don't want to like travel to find a specialized artist, like you can look in your area, um, look at each shop and like they'll probably have an Instagram with the artists listed so you can see who works at what shop and you can like if any of them have work that you're like, "Oh, that's it. That's what I like." Then you go to that artist. That's how you find them.
Exactly. That was a big learning curve for me. I had no idea when I started the business. Um, I had a couple little tattoos here and there, but I didn't realize you you shop the style first. You shop what you love the most, and then you move. I learned. Dustin helped me to learn a lot of it, but I learned. So it's I don't know. I think the process is pretty cool, pretty fun now.
It is. It is. And being comfortable with where you're at in the process is totally fine too. Like you don't have to know everything off the bat. Um, there, there are stupid questions, but ask them anyways. You know what I mean? Like how else are you going to know it's a stupid question?
Right. The whole community, the artist community to me has taken me in and taught me so much and been very sweet and kind about it. Like I'm sure I asked the dumbest questions, the dumbest stuff, but I asked and they've always been really good to me, taking care of me incredibly.
That's good. And like I can't speak for every artist, obviously. I mean, there are some artists out there that are having a bad day if you talk to them and they seem like a jerk. Um, you know, but like for the most part, I try my very best to be nice. Even though I've been asked the same question that I think is dumb, you know, 1,000 times. It's like your first time asking that question. So I try to take that into consideration. But not everybody is doing that, I don't think.
Yep. No, maybe I just got lucky, and maybe it's because I had people around me who were already in the industry, and so they tolerated me and my silly questions.
Right.
Um,
Well,
but
also, I mean, if you're meeting people at conventions, I would say that convention artists are a different breed than the kind that just like stay in the tattoo shop and never go anywhere. Um, com-
interesting.
Yes, convention artists and people that travel that circuit, they're a lot more out there and they're open to answering questions. Whereas, like your local traditional tattoo artist, it thinks you're an idiot unless you come in asking for Sailor Jerry, you know, or whatever. like, oh, I want that off the wall. If you don't do that, then they're pissed at you, and if you do that, then they're probably pissed at you too.
That's true.
But
That's
yeah, the
true.
convention artists. So if like go to conventions. If you're looking to find the right artist, go to a tattoo convention because all these artists from all over the place come to your town, and you can come and see like artists from all over the world, and then you can really figure out what tattoos you like at that point.
Right. Hey, Matt, I have a question. What's your opinion on getting tattooed at a convention? If it's like your first tattoo, would you suggest that somebody do a convention, like be get tattooed at a show, or what do you think?
Um, yeah, it's definitely an experience. I've tattooed a lot of people's first tattoos at a convention, and when I go to conventions, generally I'm booking a full day or multiple days, and I've had a lot of people come sit all day with me for their first tattoo, with thousands of people walking by, and it's like open. Um, but the atmosphere is also really cool, at least for me. Like usually the neighborhood I'm in at the convention, everybody's talking, we're having a good time, so it's like. Um, it's generally like a really fun experience. So I'd say go for it. Absolutely.
Oh, sorry, I think I did something.
Whoops.
That laser gal, I'm so sorry, I somehow hit. Again, new to this. Gotta forgive me.
It's all good.
Um,
There we go.
there we go. Thanks, laser gal. Saved me there.
Right.
Yeah, I've always kind of wondered because I've never been tattooed at a show.
Mhm.
But I've always wondered how would that experience be? How is it for a client?
Yeah.
Is removal, Casey, you have a really good question. Is removal available at conventions too? A lot of them, like when we worked on Matt, a lot of times we will take the laser to the show so you can get your first treatment done there and then go into the location that's nearest you to finish up. Or you might just want it faded and one session is enough. It's all good.
Yep. Yep. And then right above that, La Dami said, "Can a tattoo be touched up completely? I got it touched up twice, but it's still faded." Um, okay, so faded, right? Faded means something different to different people, and a tattoo, when you first get it done, sits on top of the skin as well as being, underneath that top layer of skin. So when it's fresh, it's always going to look better, or like it's always going to have that fresh look. But once it heals, you have a layer of skin over the top of it. So is it faded, or is that just how tattoos heal? I would have to look at it to like really let you know. But I hope that helps. Maybe the artist doesn't know how to pack black. I wouldn't be able to tell you without looking at it.
Right. Somebody asked, do you have any conventions coming up? Yes, indeed. Actually, coming up, the next one is in Austin, Texas. So, Austin area, come on in.
Do you know what the dates are for that show?
I absolutely do not, but I can text somebody.
Oh, that's
I'll
totally
text
fine. Just
Dustin. I'll get that
again,
for you.
again, Google exists. So
Yeah.
Google
Yeah.
Tattoo Convention Austin, August 2nd
August.
to the 4th.
Yeah, there we go. Thank God we've got people that have our backs. I have my emotional support. I've got people that give me answers, feed me answers. Thank God.
Perfect, perfect. And I don't know if that question goes to me too, but I usually do a lot of conventions. This year I am homeward bound, or whatever. That's an old movie. I'm staying at home because I'm getting married in September. So I did Evergreen Tattoo Invitational in March, and then I've been home for the rest of the year, which is different for me because usually I'm doing, at least 1 to 2 a month. Um, you know, so look
That's
out,
a lot.
people, look out. Right? It is. It is. It's not as
That
much
is
as
a lot.
Dustin.
Yeah, I always felt like when we did a full show at the end of that weekend, I felt like, oh my God, I've worked a week.
Yes.
It's just a lot.
It's a lot. It's a long day. It's a lot of people. Um, it's packing in, setting up, doing your work, packing again, which I hate packing. That's my least favorite part of conventions, especially packing to leave because I have to like say goodbye to all my friends and I'm just really sad.
Yes, I know,
But
and
yeah,
some you don't even see until the next year.
yeah, 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 exactly. So, um, yeah, it is very full.
There's a question here, which is a good one. Does the location of the tattoo affect the removal process? Sure does. So if you think about it, we're breaking down the ink, right? So once you break down the ink, we have to rely on circulation to carry those particles away. So places like face, neck, head, torso, even a lot of circulation, a lot of lymphatic drainage going on in those areas. Whereas fingers, toes, ankles, wrists, those can be a little bit more, difficult. I'm sure also, Matt, you can weigh in on. I think that those areas, it's a little bit harder to like a lot of times they'll go pretty deep in those areas just because it's real bony.
Yeah, yeah, it really depends on the person too, and like their body
Other than
type.
you.
Everybody's skin is yeah, everybody's skin's a little different too, you know. So yeah, it is. It's a tough one. But yeah, I would say like wrists, elbows. Um, it's crazy because like what works in one part of the body won't work on another part of the body with tattooing, and I'm sure it's the same with the laser.
Yep, it absolutely is, and even on somebody who has a really healthy lifestyle, they don't smoke, they exercise all the time, drink lots of water, blah 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 blah. It can be in the shittiest location, but still we're able to get rid of it just because their body is so efficient at doing what we need it to do. So, you
Sure.
know, it's I always feel bad. I guess I feel bad in this industry, and maybe that's my quest for knowledge all the time, is that I want all those answers. I know that we can never 100% get the answers, but I want to get as close to there as I can possibly get for everybody. But some of it is just, unknown and individual.
Right. Definitely. Case by case. Somebody said, how long do you have to wait from getting a tattoo before you can remove it?
That one, I always like to err on the side of caution. So let's back it up a little bit. When we're doing removal, we think that your body has taken care of, a good amount of the particles in anywhere, 6, 8, 10 weeks, right in there. Now, if I were getting a tattoo and I was paying a lot of money for it, I would want to make sure that the surface that the artist sees is going to be the surface that remains there for a super long time. So if it were me, I might wait up to a year or 6 months or whatever to make sure that there's no residual fallout of ink, because if the artist is depending on that color there, and I'll let you go into that now because that's your game, not mine, but I would want my surface to be accurate for the artist.
Yeah, I think that's actually a great point. Yeah, because your body does continue to remove some of that once it's broken up. So, um, yeah, I would say 6 months to a year. Is that what you said? Yeah, I mean, I would. It's sort of case by case too, and like same with I do a lot of scar cover ups. Scars are very different, right? Like it has to be healed for a long time, and you have to treat that scar, you know, um, and it can be really. You just have to like it's very case by case again. There's no one answer to any of this stuff. That's the thing too, is it's like everybody's body's different. Every tattoo is a little different. And so the removal process is a little different. So that's how long you have to wait after you get it removed to get a tattoo. But how long after you get the tattoo can you have it removed? For these etch a sketch characters out here that just want to like put something on and take it off, and put something on, take it off.
Yeah, I'm so excited that you asked that question, actually. That was one of the studies, and I wish I could bring my ankle up here so that you could see it. I tested it on myself first. So I had an artist put on what I call my racing stripes. So on my ankle, I put 3 stripes so that we could figure out. I did one within 24 hours of getting the tattoo, one within 3 weeks, one within 6 weeks, to see A, what's more effective, and then B, was did it hurt me at all? Did, like, with the skin unhealed or whatever, did it make a difference? Well, no, it didn't. So we did some more testing. Now we reached out and did a study. But what we found is that it's okay to start right away. We have this patch that we put on. It's not a PFD patch. It's just a regular patch. It's like water, so we shoot the laser through it. But we can start tattoos within 24 hours of them going on. I know, isn't that incredible? So, when I used to have my business and I answered all the phones, I did all the things. I was there late at night all the time. I would get these calls of people, oh my God, I got a tattoo today and I absolutely hate it. And I always felt so bad. I was like, oh my God, we've got to wait 6 weeks. So within this last year, we put it through all the studies with clinical advisory board and whatnot, and we opened it up, and you can now start to remove a tattoo within 24 hours. Pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. It sounds like it'd be very useful in Las Vegas.
I know. We do have a Vegas location.
um,
Yeah.
that is really cool, actually. Did you notice, is it like more effective to start earlier or later or?
Um, on mine, I'm having better luck on the section that I started within 24 hours.
Wow, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
get your butts in there. You got that tattoo that you don't want, get it done.
Yeah, get it done before it settles in, is what we've discovered.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, you see any more
Ooh,
questions?
numbing. What about numbing for lasers?
Yeah. So, numbing cream, can you use it? Sure, you can. Does it work? Ah, maybe for some people. Again, it's individual. But to be honest, I'm working lower than what numbing cream can really numb at. So, is it a placebo effect for some folks? Could be. Or does it really work? Does somehow it penetrate deeper? And some people could. We don't discourage it, but really, you don't need it. It's so fast. You know, with everything, I've tried everything, every different way to make sure myself. I always try everything on myself first because I don't want to put it out there, even to a clinical study client, until I've done it, I've felt it, I know for myself, and I've lived with it for a while, so I know aftercare and all that stuff. So, numbing cream, can you use it? Yeah, but I don't think you need it. I think you got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So you feel pretty much the same as how I feel for numbing cream for tattoos.
Really?
Oh yeah. So again, very case by case. I do a lot of like full day sessions. So I'm tattooing for 8 hours. So there's no numbing cream that will ever touch an 8 hour session, and you don't want to do that to your body. Um, but when people put numbing cream on in the beginning, then you know the most you're gonna get off of any numbing cream that you can get your hands on is like 2.5 hours. And some people will be like, "Oh, I've got 3 hours, whatever." You're not getting 8 hours, and I can tell you at that 2.5 hour mark, which gets bumped up quicker too if I have to put a pattern on, because then I have to take the numbing cream off and it starts to lose its effectiveness, right? So when you come in with numbing cream on, the best you're doing is sitting for 2.5 hours without feeling anything. At 2.5 hours, you're going to feel everything that you didn't feel in the beginning all at the same time. And I'm like,
Oh God.
every time my client comes in, and it's been a long time because I won't tattoo people with numbing cream on. It's just, I'm not like saying you have to earn it, but I'm saying it's going to mess you up more trying to do that. But every time I did that, it was like at that mark when they start feeling pain, because they've already told themselves they can't take this tattoo without numbing cream, right? So mentally, they've already told themselves like I can't do it. So at 2.5 hours, when they start to feel all that pain, it's like I'm done. I can't do it. And like here, to be honest, if I'm doing a tattoo this big of some realism and we're 2.5 hours in and we're like that far, I got a foot done off of this body. Um, you know, I'm going to be pretty upset because I had planned to knock this whole thing out today and you did this. And then you're like, I can't do it anymore. Right. Not even to mention like the way that different numbing creams affect the skin. Um, because some of them make them harder and like rubberized. Some are made for surgery, like especially the very early ones that were coming out, they're made for surgery. So when they put it on the skin, it's supposed to make the skin more rigid and easier to cut with a scalpel. So like the skin's more rigid and I'm sitting there trying to tattoo it. I have to like continue trying to put it in when the skin's like fighting me, right? So it ends up hurting more too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I've never, getting a tattoo, I've never used numbing cream because same thing. It's like, you're going to be there for 8, 10, whatever hours. So nothing's going to work for that amount of time. So,
no, yeah, and pain is temporary, and it's like it's not that bad. Like tattoos hurt, tattoo removal hurts, but it's like it's not that bad. Have
yeah.
you ever like broken a bone or like actually been injured? Like tattoos are nothing compared to that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I totally, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And mind over matter and pain is temporary and all that stuff. Yeah. And also, I think there's like something very therapeutic to getting a tattoo and like, making yourself sit through that. Right. Because like, you're either having a conversation with this person that's sitting next to you for hours, or you're like essentially meditating. Right. When I get tattooed, I fully like I go somewhere else. So I'm basically meditating for hours. And when I come out of it, like when we're done, like I feel almost tattoo drunk, I call it.
Really? That's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm a talker. I'm a talker.
Are you? And that's totally
Yeah.
fine. Like I like a good mix as a tattoo artist. Like it sucks if I'm like trying to open up a conversation, I'm getting one word answers because eventually I'm gonna shut down, and
Yeah.
then the day's gonna feel like it just dragged on forever, and it's just more draining. So I do like a little give and take in the session.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? This is, I don't know, this doesn't do a whole lot for either of our businesses, but I'm going to say it anyway. I think the one that hurt for me the most is scarification. I had this sleeve is all scarification, and that one was hard to do. That was a bitch.
I bet. Yeah, that has always freaked me out, dude. Like, I mean, even piercing, like, I don't really like piercings, but like that scarification is freaky.
That is, yeah, it was some gnarly stuff. A client of mine came in and had it. And again, it's mind over matter, right? I loved what it looked like after. And so I wanted that. So I had 4 hour sessions, 3 4 hour sessions. So I didn't want to go back. I absolutely didn't want to go back, but I knew I wanted it. So it was like, if this is the price I have to pay, I'll do it. But oh my God, and the healing was absolutely horrendous.
I would imagine. And I heard this might be totally false, but I heard that they're like you're supposed to almost like reopen the wound so that the scarification so that the scar is thicker. Is that true?
Yeah, yeah. You should, if you want something that's more sort of like a hypertrophic, a little bit wider scar, then yeah. Um, I wanted mine very dainty, so I just left it,
Yeah.
But I didn't really care, so I didn't do a whole lot to heal it, but it itches. It itches like nobody's business. I looked ridiculous. Like everybody that worked for me was like, "Come, stop with your arm, stop with your arm." It was, I looked crazy.
Oh my gosh. Allison brought up a good point. Can we see it?
Yeah. I don't know if on camera it does so well.
Slightly.
Yeah, it's kind of a yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
it's
wish you
okay.
could see it better. I wish my skin tone were darker, then it'd look even better. But I'm
Right.
Miss Light over here. But when you see me out and around, please ask me. I'll show you.
For sure. For
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Oh, Allison brought up too. Can you laser darker skin?
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, for sure. We have to be more careful. Any laser on a darker skin type, you have to be more careful. So, if you do have a darker skin type, make sure you go to somebody who knows what's going on, because you can have, some bad effects if the person doesn't know what they're doing. But absolutely, we can laser the darkest of skin types.
Interesting. Okay. What happens if the person does? I mean, what are the risks there?
The risk, we can dyspigment somebody, like we can hypo, meaning take the skin tone out or make it look light so you can see where you went with the laser. Now that will generally regenerate. Your body will fix it over time, but sometimes it takes a lot of time. And why go through it if you don't have to? If you can just go to somebody who knows what they're doing, why would you want to do it? But you can dyspigment darker skin types, so that's what you want to be
Totally.
careful of.
Totally. That makes sense. Yeah, and that would be obviously counterproductive. You're trying to get rid of this thing, and now you're just reversed it.
Oh my God. Yeah. And now you just have white where there used to be black. Like, who wants that?
Right. Right. And so, I mean, compared to other ways, because there are some other ways for tattoo removal, right? Like I have a saw that would remove a tattoo pretty quick. But compared to like the other more mainstream tattoo removal ways, like can you compare that with the laser? Is the laser the best?
Right now, laser is the best. Removery is a tattoo removal company. So if there's something that comes out, if there's a magic wand that comes out that we can just wave over people, we are going to invest in those magic wands.
Yeah.
But at the moment, laser is the best way to go. You can, if you need to get rid of it right away, you don't have time to spend on your 10.5 treatments, then you can always have it excised or cut out if it's, if it's small enough and, you have a plastic surgeon that can do it effectively. But that's about the only other options you have at the moment.
Really? So there used to be one of the shops I worked at, they had somebody that would like sort of tattoo over the old tattoo with like a saltwater solution. I haven't seen much of that recently, so I can't imagine it worked very well. Do you
Yeah,
know anything
it
about
didn't.
that?
We'll still see some people that will come in and have had that done. It will work if you're still in the tattoo working on it. If, from what I hear, I'm not an artist, I don't know, but from what I hear, if you go back in with sort of a saline, you can sometimes get rid of little mistakes that have been made. But as far as once a tattoo is completely healed and the whole thing, I've never seen it work.
Hmm, interesting. That makes sense. I wouldn't. I never tried it, and I've never made a mistake, so I didn't need to like go in and do that.
Yeah, yeah.
um, okay,
There's a,
so I've seen this question multiple times, and I don't want Ladami to feel like we're ignoring them. But is pricing higher when going for unlimited sessions? Can you talk a little bit about pricing on that?
pricing is relative. So if you, I think it's always a more cost effective way to go because you never have to worry. Um, we've we've priced everything at the average is actually you've already not paid for a couple of sessions. If you were to just pay as you go and you got to 10.5, you'd already be, spending less money with a package than if you just paid per session. So, we've done that by design. And then if you go any above the 10, which happens often, then, it just makes the cost of every treatment so much less. If you have fluffy clouds and you want to do a cover up and you just want to, get rid of it a little bit, do one session. That's fine. But there's not a whole lot of fluffy clouds out there looking for cover ups.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And then I did see one earlier too. Does laser tattoo removal leave scars?
Absolutely not. So let's go into the history of tattoo removal. And I know that we're sort of getting towards the end a little bit, but laser tattoo removal, laser hair removal, right, has a very long duration of a pulse. And so it was discovered sort of accidentally that if you hit a tattoo, that's going to come out, right, by doing hair removal. So that type of very long duration, you actually blow up those molecules. That, yeah, that could leave scars, and that's where that whole sort of phenomenon got its footing. Because way back in the beginning, people were doing it with a very long duration laser because that's all that was on the market. Then nanosecond came, so that's millisecond is hair removal. So millisecond, yeah, you can explode it and create scars. Then came nanosecond, which it's safe. You could remove tattoos, a little bit more uncomfortable, a little bit more sort of risk as far as damaging the skin a bit. But Pico, I would have to egregiously, I'd want to hurt you to create a scar. Like I would have to not like you at all and just laser the bejesus out of you in order to cause a scar. So don't worry about that as long as you go to the right place, please.
That would explain these scars. Dustin did that on purpose. I really knew he did. Oh, and this one I have I wondered this too is like is black ink easier to remove, or are there some colors I've heard like blue, green, like some are harder to remove? Is
Yes.
that true?
Yes. In a word, yes. Black and red are the easiest to remove. Because yeah, those are the easiest to remove. Colors, they can be more difficult because of the mixture. There's always more of a mixture of color to create that color. So, and wavelengths, it's really hard for manufacturers, remove laser manufacturers to create the wavelengths that will address the blues, the greens, the purples. So, yeah, blues, greens, purples, sometimes they come right out. Sometimes we get really lucky, but sometimes they'll hang around for a while. And, you have to know your shit sometimes to get them gone.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And so, moral of the story is research your artist. Don't make these tattoo mistakes that we've been making for, 30, 40, 50 years. Like, it's 2024. Let's make good decisions, people.
Agreed. Yeah, totally
But if
agreed.
you've made that mistake, like I have, and like Dustin has, and like many people have, the removery. I keep saying the removery for whatever reason, but it's
Because we were
removery.
the finery before, so you
Yes,
got used to the part.
that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so it's not my fault. It's your fault. I appreciate that. So somebody asked about aftercare for laser treatment. What does that look like?
Aftercare. So about the biggest thing, and it's doing verify to continue. So, Greg, let's see.
So
Sorry,
we're
guys.
going overtime. That's why.
Yeah, hopefully I'm doing this right. Aftercare is really not hard. I did it again, you guys, all these wins. Really what you want to do is just it may feel a little like a sunburn. The biggest thing is I want you to keep it out of the sun. But other than that, you don't have to really worry. If you do get a blister, then you treat it like a blister, so you have to be a little bit more careful. Now you have open skin. But when we do laser tattoo removal, we don't disrupt the skin. Like, we don't open the skin. It's all happening underneath. So you have your natural skin barrier. So biggest thing, just keep it out of the sun. That's really it.
Yeah, yeah, I do remember that when I got my session with Dustin, because I remember asking, I was like, "You need to wrap this because like I'm tattooing." He's like, "The skin's not broken. You're fine. Like, you're good." So that was surprising to me too, because I figured like, oh, it's gonna blister and it's gonna like the blisters are gonna pop and all that. But it was very easy to take. Like the skin wasn't broken. It was almost like nothing happened. It just felt like a sunburn a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you had that experience. But that's perfect.
Yeah.
Again, I tell people who get removal, hey, sometimes it blisters. It's okay. But most of the time, again, with the Pico way and the shorter pulse duration, you really don't get a whole lot.
Yeah. So with aftercare, you can go in the pool, but you shouldn't go in the sun. So you figure that out.
Just wrap it up, man. Just wrap it up. Well, where there's a will, there's a way, right?
Right, right. So Audrey said, do you do eyebrow removal?
Oh, we do. And we're back to, I'd love to talk about my studies. Yes, we do eyebrow removal, eyebrow removals. And in fact, we're advancing that protocol. And I'm in the middle right now of another study to create an even better experience for our clients and remove it way more quickly. So I'm excited about that. I think all of our clients will be super excited about that as well.
That is super cool. And does that go for like hair removal, like body hair removal and all that too? Do you guys do all that?
No, no, we
No?
touch only
Okay.
tattoos.
Okay,
We touch
okay.
only tattoos. So cosmetic ink is just a little different component, a lot different component. It's a pigment as opposed to an ink. And so it responds. So we almost need a whole separate protocol for cosmetic versus just regular ink. And it's always been challenging with brows is because they change colors all the time. And somebody, doesn't want to walk around with purple brows for 6 weeks. I get it.
Right.
So it's a very visual place. Everybody can see it. So it's a little bit of a different animal, but we're really good at it. We do it. If you have brows that you hate, come on in.
Nice, nice. And how much is a consultation with you guys?
$0 and 0 cents.
Love it, love it.
Yeah.
Me too. By the way, I like
Oh,
free
cool.
consultations. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not going to charge you to like talk to me. It's a little weird at that point. I think maybe I don't know. That's just ego going on at that point. But free
Yeah.
consultations, you know, because otherwise, how do you know you want to work with me?
Well, exactly, exactly. So that's always been our deal too. Is just come on in, let's take a look at it, let's get on the same page, and then if you want, we can generally move forward that very same day with clients.
Not the
Yeah,
same with me. Not the same.
not the same.
T said, I did one session a few years ago, but had to stop. Second session is this weekend. Will I see results?
I sure hope to God so. Again, we never know. I can never tell you. Some people I won't see response for 4 treatments. Some people, within the time that it takes them to leave the office, we're already seeing breakdown. Everybody's different, but most likely you will. There's not a whole lot of people that we don't see results on after a second treatment.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Let's see. I saw one question. I thought, oh, somebody said, how many treatments for black ink? I know you talked about that already. It's sort of case by case.
Yep. Yep. Same thing. A tribal is going to take us a lot longer. That ink is packed in there like crazy. Whereas fluffy clouds, those are breeze. Love fluffy clouds. I know I talk about them a lot, but ooh, they're so much fun. We have time for one last question.